May the grace and the peace of God the Father and our Lord Jesus Christ be with each and every one of you as we begin chapter 47 today from verses 1. And good morning to the evangelist, the Fridays. I'm Brother Rosa, top of the morning to you and the Enrock family and the Pastor Richardson, IGGM, and all of you guys across the various social media networks. Good morning, and I pray that God continues to bless and increase each and every one of you as we go into chapter 47. Verse 1, Ezekiel tells us that he brought me again, meaning another time, to the front door of the house which faced the east, where he saw water coming from the threshold of the house, flowing eastward in the direction the house faced. The water came from the right side of the house, which corresponded with the south side of the altar. Verse 2, he was then brought out through the north gate, which would be the other side of the altar, where no water flowed. He was led from there to the other gate, which faced eastward, the direction of the front of the house, where he saw the water running out from the right side of the gate. Verse 3, Ezekiel then tells us that the man who led him, who had the measuring line, measured 1,000 cubits east into the water, and took him through the water that distance in ankle height water. Verse 4, he then says that the man measured another 1,000 cubits and took him through the waters, and the waters were the height of his knees. The man again measured another 1,000 cubits and took him through again. This time the water was at his loins. Verse 5, another 1,000 was measured. Ezekiel saying this time he could not pass over, because at this point the waters were a river, saying the waters were risen, it became waters to swim in, saying also that it became impassable. He says it could not be passed over from that point. Verse 6, the man then asked Ezekiel, Son of man, hast thou seen this? Which he was not given an opportunity to answer, and which was more of a leading question to ensure that Ezekiel acknowledged and took notice of the event, which at that time, after taking him to the point where he could no longer go forward, he was taken back to the brink of the water. Verse 7, Ezekiel tells us that when he returned to the bank of the river, he begins to see and describes to us a new landscape of trees. Many trees, he says, which lined both sides of the river, trees planted by the rivers of waters. This must have been an awesome and amazing experience. And we are privileged to even have a description of what is taking place through these pages, and as our great God allows. Ezekiel mentioning nothing of trees before his journey into the waters began. More so grown trees on both sides of what began to him and us as water running from under the threshold of the house, and which is now called a river. Do you all see it? Beloved, transformation takes place right before your eyes. Transformation is a witness event to each of us. We start at one point, and as we proceed forward in the living water, a short distance brings and allows a depth of change. If we were to measure the distance of change that can take place in our lives and how quickly it can happen, we can soon be overwhelmed by the depths beyond our physical reach. Christ is the living water, the river to which when we all start off and we begin to enter in at a height which increases, and as we move forward in him, being the word of God, he increases to us, taking us to more depth and more depth and more depth and even more depth, up to 4 times the increase. Today, know also that for us to see how far the word extends, we have to be taken out into the depth, into the deep, to the points where we are shown that it is way greater than what we can even imagine, way greater than what we can even navigate, way greater than ourselves. Only when we are in the deep can we see how great it is really, and how much we really need Jesus Christ. Keep it in the water. Keep in the water. It brings forth life in abundance, wisdom in abundance, and all else in abundance. Turnaround and deliverance, all in abundance. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. This is Pastor Solomon De La Rosa in God's grace.